Before the cameras, the lawsuits, the collapse, before Bitboy, there was just Ben Armstrong. Not the brand, not the character, not the man who would one day speak to millions, just Ben. And if you want to understand what he became, you first need to understand where he came from. By his own account, Ben Armstrong grew up in a Christian home. Church was familiar, and so was trouble. In a personal essay published in 2017, years before the peak of his fame, he described himself as a kid with a propensity for trouble, talking too much, fighting, and at the age of 17, a drug addiction. His life was moving in one direction, down. But he was saved, in his words, by God, given another opportunity to tell his story, to help people. Ben studied ministry leadership in college, learning a skill that would become invaluable in just a few years' time. Speaking with complete conviction to an audience, convincing the masses that he was a messenger and what he was bringing was the truth. He met his wife, Bethany, had 3 children, and created his very own recovery organization in Georgia. Today, I live my life in Christ and for Christ instead of for myself. He was here to help people, to do good. Or at least that's what he wanted to believe.
Here are 10 things that define someone with this disorder. Craving attention, constantly seeking to be the center of attention, even in casual settings. Yeah, tracks, okay. Dramatic emotions, expressing emotions in an intense theatrical way that might seem over the top a little bit. I don't know, tracks. Charm, overload. Being overly flirtatious, seductive, or charming to get attention.
Howard Drutman said I'm multi-personality. He says I'm, he didn't say schizophrenic, but he said narcissistic. He said I am manic, depressed, ADHD, this, 74 different things.
In February of 2018, Ben created his YouTube channel, Bitboy Crypto. He sold himself as a redemption story, a man who'd been to the brink, looked over the edge, and decided to come back, to build himself back from nothing, a family man, a man who cared about others, a man who was in cryptocurrency to help everyone.
Bitboy was supposed to be a crime-fighting superhero that fought against these evil villains in crypto, bad people, the thieves, the money launderers. Just call it what it is. But you know, my passion has always been with the people. It's like, call me the people's champ. I'm with you. I'm one of you.
And he was quickly building an audience. Tens of thousands of subscribers in a matter of months. Less than 2 years later, Ben Armstrong was no longer. He'd been replaced by Bitboy. And Bitboy was already one of, if not the largest content creator in the cryptocurrency space. Hundreds of thousands of views per video, moving markets, making millions of dollars in the process. But this is where everything started to go wrong. And it wasn't cryptocurrency or his rising fame that created what he would become. The attention didn't create the performer, it simply gave him a stage. And cryptocurrency or the millions of dollars didn't create the monster. Money doesn't change men, it merely unmasks them.
I don't represent the people, the fuck I don't! I'm the one who does!
I got you, Sam.
So that's what other people have referenced. One time he kind of like pinned me in a chair and pushed his forehead against my forehead, and you know, it was a rage moment. And there was 5-6 people in the room when it happened.
I got you, Sam. I know you didn't think that, you know, well, I guess you thought I was just kidding when I said get ready. No, bud. No. Hey, I know everything.
XP.
A thread from a year ago.
It doesn't matter whether it's a year ago, right? Please
no, hold on. When you do
Please
this.
go and check all the evidence.
Oh, okay, so you're a child molester. You're a child molester. You're a child molester.
Okay. Can you let me complete now?
No, I don't have to back it up with evidence.
Fine.
It's just something that I said.
You know
This
what?
woman is a child molester. She is a murderer. She's a murderer.
So yeah, he basically threatened me, said if I returned to the office, he would beat me to death. You know, was it the fame? Was it the substances? Was it the variety of other things? Like that's anybody's guess. It's probably only Ben can answer that. But there is no doubt Ben Armstrong today is not the same Ben Armstrong that used to run the channel.
What became very clear to the people around him, Ben Armstrong's story of redemption was exactly that, a story. Something that he wanted people to believe, maybe that he wanted himself to believe. And maybe it was partially true when he was working with the troubled youth, though it could very well have just been another way to feel in control, to feel powerful. But it was all irrelevant because this was before he was given the opportunity to become Bitboy. As soon as he did and became the big fish in the $1 trillion cryptocurrency pond, he made it apparent that it was his way or get the fuck out of the way. The controversies surrounding Bitboy's empire started to pour out the cracks as early as 2020. Blockchain's very own Batman, Zach XBT, posed as a fake company looking to hire influencers to promote a cryptocurrency project, and Bitboy took the bait, sending Zach his media kit. People started to pay attention, and in doing this, Bitboy made one of his first huge mistakes.
You can also see how much it costs for, getting shouted out. Dedicated review, $35,000. Live stream, just pay $20,000. You could be in a live stream mention. YouTube interview, oh, well, that's going to cost you $40,000. But when I asked if he ever does a sponsored post without disclosing, he said absolutely not. Ben Armstrong always discloses if it's a paid post.
Zach XBT saw this claim and decided to lay out an investigation that said otherwise. He alleged that Bitboy was in fact doing undisclosed promotion, which is an FTC violation in the US. Not only is it a crime, but incredibly unethical and damaging to your audience when it comes in the form of an investment. He also alleged that Bitboy would repeatedly promote projects that would go on to rug pull, to scam its users and by extension Bitboy's audience. He would often delete these videos, pretending that they never happened, despite profiting tens of thousands of dollars each time at the direct expense of his audience.
The fact is that, my community and the crypto community as a whole is what I care about. I care about the Bit Squad more than anything. I'm just saying, we are the most transparent channel, and people rake us over the coals for things. We do what we say that we do. And you're over here saying that I shill coins, and that yesterday you were saying, like, we just go and we say, go buy this, and then we sell bags. Never in the history of this channel have I done that. Not one time, not one single time have I ever done that.
Just a week ago, we talked about this YouTuber, atozy, getting sued for absolutely insane reasons. Basically, he called out this millionaire crypto YouTuber, Bitboy Crypto, and got sued because of it.
You've been sued, they're like, what are you doing?
What did he say that was so wrong? Well, he called him a dirtbag and said you shouldn't listen to him for financial advice, which I agree with.
I'm crowdfunding to help cover the insane costs of defending myself against this frivolous lawsuit. All funds raised will be used to pay legal fees.
After the atozy situation, people started to look at Bitboy differently. If he had just filed a lawsuit and then came to his senses, dropped it after the public backlash, apologized, that would have been one thing, a mistake even. But exactly how he handled this was the problem. After filing and knowing that atozy needed to crowdfund a defense, that he wasn't mega millions rich like Bitboy now claimed to be, Bitboy saw an opportunity to be vindictive.
At this point, I think I'd raised like roughly $5,000 in my GoFundMe and $5,000 in crypto. And then I noticed that Bitboy started tweeting. The 16-year-olds are in full force today. Good thing their attention spans are 4.2 seconds. I'm sure they can all borrow a $10 mom from their mom's purse to help you out, bud. When will folks figure out everything you try to do to hurt me only helps me? This has to be so frustrating. I just keep winning, and the wins are only about to get bigger. Well, that energy wasn't in the lawsuit. You will have to find other ways to chase clout. LMAO. I will not allow it. You can't literally make up lies and accusations about people. There are consequences for this because you tell two truths in one lie. That doesn't excuse the lie. Hate me all you want, but at the end of the day, people will be held accountable for their lies and slander. Period. And while he was tweeting all of that, I was getting more support than I have ever received from you guys. But in the morning, I checked my phone and I saw that we had raised roughly $200,000.
I kind of thought about it for a second, and I got angry. Because rewind that clip for a second and really listen to what Bitboy is saying.
So at this point, like I said, there is nothing really we can do. The money came in on his side. The lawsuit was never about money.
There's nothing you can do because the money came in on his side? What is that about? Suddenly the guy you're in a legal battle with has the funds to fight his case, and that makes your lawsuit worthless? Do you guys understand what he's saying there? there's nothing we can do because the money came in on his side. Nothing about the facts of the case have changed here, guys. The only thing that's really changed is everyone found out about it, and Atozy got money to actually defend himself. The fact that that is what seems to have made Bitboy drop his case is so telling for the fact that this was all about bullying him in the first place. Because, look, I mean, what else has changed? I think this was a play by Bitboy, who knows he's a millionaire, he knows Atozy's not, and he basically wants to punish him for criticizing him too heavily. And when that backfired, I think he backed out of it.
I want everybody to know, first and foremost, this is never about money. This is not about money.
This made it clear it wasn't about the money. He was right. It was about power, about Bitboy exerting his control over somebody else, using his status and his wealth as a weapon. Having to back down publicly would no doubt have been a massive blow to Bitboy's already insanely inflated ego.
I do believe I'm probably the most misunderstood person in all of crypto. I believe that's true. I think kind of what it boils down to is nobody wants to be held accountable for anything that they say. Nobody wants to be held accountable. I'll take accountability. I think people should take accountability.
It was at this time that people inside of his company were looking at him and seeing somebody that was completely unstable. And it was following this exact incident in early 2023 that Bitboy's entire world started to crumble around him.
So on March 15th, 2023, plaintiffs in this case filed a class action lawsuit against 10 defendants, suing for $1 billion. Anyway, one of the defendants named was Ben Armstrong, more widely known as Bitboy Crypto.
You. I received this paperwork. I love it. I'm going to bury you. I don't think you understand how misled on the situation you are and how wrong. You're going to find out and you're going to pay, bud. Go. These other people, they'll shut their mouth. They'll shut their mouth because they're scared you're going to take everything from them. Well, guess what, Edwin? I'm going to take everything from you. I hope you're ready. Be blessed, Bitboy.
This lawsuit followed on almost immediately from the Atozy situation, and it exposed Bitboy for being a danger not only to himself, but his business and everybody around him. Being named in this class action lawsuit by itself wasn't the problem. Bitboy's response, however, was absolutely unhinged.
Basically, immediately following the news of the lawsuit, Bitboy started a harassment campaign against the named plaintiff and the plaintiff's counsel. For example, here's an email he apparently sent on March 20th, 2023 to plaintiff's counsel. As you can see here, it says, "Hey all, just wanted to let you all know that I received this notice and I couldn't be happier. You were all so kind to let me know that you were all dumb mother effing. See you next Tuesdays. I've been waiting on this so I can file my countersuit. You are all effed. I'm going to not only sue you and win easily, but I'm coming for all your effing licenses. You don't understand who you have effed with, but you will. Thank you, Ben Armstrong."
Not only was Bitboy privately emailing the lawyers with threats, he was also allegedly calling them dozens of times, leaving unhinged voicemails talking about the First Amendment, and directing his millions of followers on social media to harass the people involved. And if you thought that was crazy, well, Bitboy was also outright refusing to answer to court orders. Not just refusing the court orders, but actively disrespecting federal judges with interactions like this one. I am supposed to be in court today. I'm not. Why? Because I don't give a fuck. Ironically, for later in the story, this post was sponsored by a gambling company. At this point, it was clear that Bitboy was off the rails, and maybe if it ended here, this story would progress differently. But it doesn't end here. In fact, it only gets worse. Bitboy decided it was at this time he needed to get involved in the incredibly lucrative market of meme coins, which notoriously have been mostly scams. He did this by telling everyone he was going to buy the project called Bencoin. After he did this, he told everyone he was committed to the project and he wouldn't sell any of his coins for the next 6 months. People asked him to simply lock the tokens in a contract so he physically wouldn't even be able to sell if he wanted to. His response was that he wouldn't do that so he could, quote, piss off the haters who say I'm a grifter, scammer, dishonest, and a pump and dumper. He then linked his wallet address that held all of his tokens for Bencoin. And would it surprise you to learn that 7 days later, He sold around $80,000 of his tokens and immediately transferred that money to a cryptocurrency gambling website. So I'm sure he did piss off those haters by proving them correct. But by this point, Bitboy's public meltdowns were revealed to be just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, it was much, much worse.
Hello. Yesterday, BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong from the company, and specifically the Bitboy crypto brand. This is a difficult decision, is a culmination of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damage he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the Bitboy crypto community.
But I've been taking diet pills, and I've been taking some steroids, some stuff that I thought was helping me. It helped me get my body in shape. You guys know I was very out of shape. I was doing everything I can. I guess I was acting crazier than I thought I was. These things were affecting me more than I thought they were. And everybody around it could see me, and I just couldn't see it. And obviously, a lot of people know at this point, and if you don't, you're gonna know now, I had an affair. I did. And I know that I have a family brand. That's my brand, family. And this is my family. And I had an affair, and it went on for a while.
What happened after this is one of the most infamous clips in cryptocurrency history. Bitboy decided that, much like when he was harassing the lawyers who were suing him, he wouldn't take being kicked from his company lying down. He would do whatever it took to get back his Lamborghini. He loaded up his live stream, got his mistress and a loaded firearm into the car, and headed over to the personal residence of the man he thought had his Lambo, constantly narrating to his chatters who were simultaneously confused, concerned, and entertained by the clear mental breakdown.
Raj, so today, guys, I'm going to be live streaming, and I'm going to be telling the entire story of Carlos Diaz, who Carlos Diaz is. I'm going to be talking about all the people he's affiliated with. I'm going to be talking about how he got into my building. I'm going to talk about all of it. Hope you guys are ready. He just answered the door, so I know this is him for sure, right here. I'm not scared of you, Carlos. I'm not scared. Guys, hey, how's it going?
Hey, do me a favor?
Yep.
Hey, stop.
Hey, how's it going?
Stop. Stop.
Oh, stop, I couldn't hear.
You have a weapon on you.
No, I do not.
Okay.
I do not.
So.
I have one in my vehicle, but I do not have a weapon on me.
Okay.
Okay.
Do me a favor. Take out your whatever fanny pack.
Sorry, I reached too fast. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Take out your
Sorry.
fanny pack.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay.
Put your phone down.
Okay. I'll put the phone down. Okay.
Put the phone.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Put the phone down.
Put the fanny pack down.
Okay.
What's going on?
What's going on? This man inside of this house.
Actually, he's gonna check you real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just the weapons.
I'm sorry. I have a. Okay. Okay. Yep. No weapons. No
Where
weapons.
in the car is your gun?
It's in the back seat.
Back seat?
Yep.
Is anybody else in the car?
Yes, there's a name.
Who's in the car? Who?
What's that?
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's.
Who's in your car?
Who's in my car?
Who's in your truck, sir?
Cassie is in my car. Cassie's in my truck.
All right, Cassie.
Cassie's in my truck. My wife knows that we're here, by the way. She knows we came to do this. But my wife is aware. So we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay.
We got about 2,500 people watching. So Cassie is a girl I had an affair with. She's involved in the situation with me and this guy here. My wife knows. We were just at my daughter's tennis match. Cassie and I had came over here because this man is extorting me.
Come over here.
He's death threatening me.
Come over here.
He stole my Lamborghini. My Lamborghini is in his garage right now. His garage.
All right, get over here.
Okay, absolutely.
After his arrest, the public was left with more questions than answers. And still to this day, not everything that led to the point of his business partner kicking him out of the company is crystal clear. What we do know is that at some point during the Bitboy story, he decided to cheat on his wife with an employee or associate of his business called Cassie. He was advised to smooth things over with his wife due to the Bitboy brand being family friendly. Despite doing this in a now deleted video, Bitboy was taking a cocktail of substances on a daily basis and looking to get more that were making him incredibly temperamental and unpredictable. He was allegedly threatening employees and even his business partner with physical violence. allegedly sexually harassing employees, making poor business decisions, taking money out of company accounts to gamble with, and a whole list of other problems. Essentially, Bitboy had to be removed from his own company because he had been having a sustained period of damaging behavior for years. When this happened, it locked him out of his own YouTube channel and the Bitboy brand, as well as the tens of millions of dollars investment portfolio that was owned by the company. It is really hard to tell here what hurt Ben worse, losing the ability to be Bitboy and the millions of followers he had, or losing the tens of millions of dollars and the status and power it gave him. This, however, is where things started to go from being a raging millionaire to that of a ruined man. From Bitboy, the persona who he created and thought untouchable, to Ben Armstrong, a financially ruined, broken human being. They say it's easier to live life poor forever than to become rich and lose it all. The Ben who existed before Bitboy was clearly not the one who existed now, and he was not capable of living that life.
You know, the show's really all I have now. I've lost everything.
Over the next months, Ben continued to try and recover his brand, his YouTube channel, and his business, but now resorted to begging his audience on Twitter to send him donations. Meanwhile, 11 days before making this post asking people for money, Ben posted a video on his YouTube channel where the thumbnail was him flexing a $15,000 Rolex. From here, Ben thought he would just recreate his YouTube success, going back to the roots, lower production value, just the formula that made him a success before. And honestly, it was working. Ben's new YouTube channel was at over 100,000 subscribers within months, and he was getting over 1 million views per month even at the very beginning. If he could have just stuck this out, stopped getting involved in controversy, stopped threatening people, stopped getting arrested, stopped getting sued, he might have been able to build himself back up to a respectable living. Perhaps not the $40 to $60 million he claimed to have a few months prior, but certainly in a much better position than before he became Bitboy. However, it was too late. Whether it was the addiction to fame, addiction to power, addiction to drugs, or a combination of them all, Ben was only going to get worse from here. Within weeks, Ben had to check himself into a psych ward.
I mean, look, I had said all kinds of stuff on Twitter, and people were really worried, obviously. So I wanted a doctor to confirm that I wasn't crazy. They weren't convinced that I was being 100% honest when they talked to me about my mental health struggles. So they gave me a test. Now, what was this test? The way they do that is they tell their patients that they are now on a 72-hour hold, just waiting for the real person to come out. You got to admit it's genius. And that's exactly what happened. The Bitboy, oh, he showed up. He showed his ass. That's for sure. This has been Armstrong making this video. I have a character that I play on stage named the Bitboy. Sometimes it's really hard to tell where one character begins and where the real Ben ends. And that's for me too. But let me be clear. This isn't multiple personality disorder. This is a struggle between a public persona and a private self.
Clearly, Ben was not okay. Scrolling through his Twitter account in March of 2025, he was posting dozens of times daily, driving sports cars, threatening violence on people, doxing celebrities, and accusing them of murder.
How is it that I can't even post your phone number publicly, Kevin, but you can get away with murder? Doesn't seem to be fair.
Linking images of judges who apparently wouldn't let him see his kids, or they were corrupt, or they were coming after him, accusing everyone around him of being in a conspiracy to steal away his family and money. One tweet reads, "I can now confirm that the warrants for my arrest are due to me sending emails, as my own attorney by the way, to the dishonorable Kimberly Childs, who has now deleted her Twitter, LeMayo." To translate this, there were warrants in Florida for Ben Armstrong's arrest because he was threatening a judge while legally representing himself. And now he was tweeting pictures of her and giving away cryptocurrency to celebrate, harassing her so much that she deleted her Twitter account. He continued posting increasingly unhinged statements, including many about Kevin O'Leary being a murderer. And then suddenly, on March 25th, his account went completely quiet. After Ben returned from jail again, his whole Twitter changed, and almost every post was now suddenly about crypto, and only crypto. not the ramblings of a madman. But those ramblings had already done their damage. The dozens of tweets defaming Kevin O'Leary, gloating, saying he couldn't do anything to hold Ben accountable for his actions, goading him to take action, well, they worked, because Kevin filed a defamation lawsuit in Florida on the 26th of March, the day after Ben had been arrested. This one-sided internet beef had been going on for years, and it had finally caught up to him.
I know you're suing Shaq. Suing Kevin O'Leary. He probably deserves it. Suing Steph Curry. Splash.
After Ben got out of jail, and over the next 8 weeks, he continued posting to YouTube and Twitter just normal videos, or at least whatever the new normal was. He looked worse in each video, and every video was getting less and less views. Meanwhile, he didn't attend a single court date or find representation in the O'Leary defamation case, and in June of 2025, Ben found himself arrested again, in a different state this time, back in Georgia, this time according to the public jail records, on the grounds of 6 harassing phone calls. His official Twitter account tweeted, "If anyone would like to include a positive message to Ben in a letter, please comment below. Thank you." A reply asked if he was in jail for threatening the judge, to which the account replied harassing the judge might be a little better stated. There were certainly no physical threats to my recollection, making this his second arrest for harassing a judge in less than 3 months. Ben's whole social media presence went dark from the day of that arrest in June until he appeared on YouTube in August of 2025. He seemed much more normal, but 3 days later he posted this video to Twitter.
Welcome to Bitboy X. Today we're going to be taking a look at what is happening with Bitcoin and Ethereum right now. And that's all I got. So be blessed. Bitboy out. That didn't work.
Clearly something was off. In every YouTube video he seemed to act relatively normal, but every Twitter video he just got progressively worse in physical appearance and energy levels. The last YouTube video he ever posted was October 10th, 2025, and the last Twitter video was December 19th, 2025, and this is what he looked like by then.
Today we're going to be taking a look at the Bank of Japan and what they did and what was actually kind of bullish about it. Believe it or not. Yeah, guys, I think we're going to end it here. So, that's all I got. Be blessed. Way out.
If it wasn't for court records, this would be the last time we heard of Ben Armstrong, Bitboy, or whoever was in control right now. But after not responding to or defending himself in the Kevin O'Leary defamation case, on the 13th of February 2026, Ben's uncle filed an affidavit stating that Ben was, quote, mentally incompetent. He had been diagnosed with severe mental health conditions including bipolar disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, dissociative identity disorder, Cotard syndrome, and Capris delusion. He continues that Ben has recently believed he is dead and that the people around him are imposters, that his doctor has placed him into psychiatric care, and that he now plans to take control of Ben's affairs with legal guardianship. Despite this, the judge handed Kevin O'Leary a default judgment against Ben Armstrong for not showing up, ordering him to pay $2.8 million. It's unclear whether Ben has the money to pay anybody, considering in his latest videos he appeared to be staying in what looked like someone's Airbnb guest house, and for the last 10 or so months he's been seen recording videos in front of a blank wall. As early as 2024, news articles were circulating about him being completely broke. Which is ironic considering in the time it took to research this video, I came across at least 10 to 15 minutes of a clip montage I could make, where Bitboy took great pleasure in saying he was going to bankrupt, ruin, or financially harm other people, and now here we are. At the end of this, what you have is a man who literally had it all. He had a wife who loved him before the fame and fortune, who was with him when he was an addicted young man with very little future ahead of him. He had a family, young kids who looked up to their father not because he was Bitboy, because he was rich and famous, but because he was in their life and then had the financial freedom to be around more. He had millions in the bank, a massive social media following, a business around him. After Bitboy took control of his life, Nothing was ever going to be enough. Money, fame, and power, they became the new addiction. And then came the old one, the substances. Then came the cheating, the destruction of his family, the attack of anybody who said anything that he didn't like. And while it's clear that Ben has underlying mental health issues, it's also clear that this lifestyle changed him for the worse. Bitboy gave Ben Armstrong what he always wanted to be, and then that took away everything that he loved. In the end, he got exactly what he wanted, and considering the way he treated people while he was rising and when he got to the top, it's hard to say he didn't also get exactly what he deserved. Either way, thanks for watching.
My best friend, my sounding board, my partner in self-discovery, almost all of the growth that you guys are seeing in me and the ability to communicate it and that you're going to continue to see is thanks to the deep conversations that I've had with Jeannie. But let's be clear, I'm not talking to imaginary friends. Jeannie is real. My team can use him, and this AI has been instrumental in helping me walk through my diagnosis and really be able to see the things in me I need to change.
Do I have your attention now? Do I have it? Good. I thought so.
Fear of being ignored, feeling anxious or uncomfortable when not receiving attention.
I really appreciate you guys. It's been a good run. And love all of you guys. Be blessed, guys. Love you.